All right, so we're going to start off with lying down and having a lovely long stretch out, making sure that you feel comfortable. It might be that you want to start off in semi-supine with your knees bent and your feet hip distance apart. Just checking in with how your back is this morning. But if your spine, your lower back feels okay, you can lengthen the legs away, maybe separating the feet. Sometimes doing it to mat distance apart is really lovely. So just let the feet flop out to the sides. Notice if there's a pull there in the lower back around the lower sacrum, the tailbone. And just have a few breaths in and out, and if that releases, and just let the feet, legs stay as they are. But if it's too uncomfortable, then bringing your feet in a bit. And just checking the position of the pelvis. If you feel like it's sort of tilting forwards a bit, creating a real curve in your lower back so you can actually put your hands there, drawing in through the pelvic floor, just tipping the pelvis a little bit. Feeling where the spine makes contact with the floor, bringing the chin down onto the chest a little bit. You might want to just even lift the head up with your hands and just let the back of the head sort of nestle down onto the mat or the cushion, whatever your head's resting on. And then checking in with the shoulders, noticing where they are. See if you want to wriggle one down and then the other. Arms away from the body, turning the palms up if that's possible for you. Allowing the head to feel heavy. Be supported by the cushion, the ground, the earth beneath you. And feel the breath in the body. Take some long, deep breaths in. And then sighing the breath out. Feeling the body relax, let go. That real sense of release and ease in the body. And with that out breath, softening the face, the muscles of the shoulders, the arms, fingers and thumbs, of the back, all the way down to the lower back, and the belly, just noticing if you're holding on to any tension here, and see if you can just let the softness of the belly rise and fall with the breath. Allowing the hips to release, the thighs, lower legs, ankles, feet and toes. The whole of the body supported by the earth, being aware of what's here for you in this moment as you are. And as we start to release the physical body, soften into this, our awareness can deepen into the more subtle layers. So feeling how you are emotionally, or that feeling tone, the inner atmosphere, and also maybe a flow of energy. Areas too where you may like to pay particular attention as you go into asana practice, move through the morning. So that you have a sense of the whole of the body, your heart and your mind, where your thoughts are right now, and whether through an awareness of the body, you're dropping into the present, being kind to yourself. And very gently, I'm just going to start to move the body a little, having a stretch. Wriggle the fingers, the toes, circling the ankles round. Just moving it whichever way you want to, maybe just opening the mouth and moving the jaw around a little bit. Making a bit of a noise. Move the tongue, a place where we can really hold some tension. And then into a stretch, holding around the right wrist with the left hand and drawing that right arm up as you push the right heel away. So feeling that stretch down the side of the body. And then the other side, right hand around the left wrist, pushing the left heel away. And doing that a few times, side to side, and feeling into that lengthening sensation. One side and the other. Good, have a good long stretch. Both hands, both feet. And then bringing the arms back down and going into semi-supine. So feet in parallel with the hips and really making that connection of the lower back with the floor now. So it might be that you just need to lift your hips up, your pelvis up a little bit and tilt it. It's going to take the hands down by the sides, palms facing downwards. Take a breath in as you breathe out, just very gently drawing in through the pelvic floor from the back to the front, and then allow that contraction to come right the way up to your ribs, your lower ribs, and then slowly as you breathe in, releasing that and letting the pelvis rock back. So just activating the pelvic floor, tummy button down to the base of the spine, tipping the pelvis, and then as you breathe in, allow the pelvis to rock back. So just back and forth, really taking your time, connecting with the core, feeling into these parts of the body. And then next time you breathe out, contracting through the core, but bring the knees to your chest, hands around the knees, give them a hug. Nice. Either the hands on the knees, or you can wrap your arms around, holding onto the fingers, just interlacing them, drawing knees down to the chest, and then have a little rock from side to side. Lovely. Just allowing those knees to come up and back. And then slowly placing the feet back down on the floor, bring the right knee in towards you, hands around the knee, take a breath in. As you breathe out, extend the right leg up to the ceiling, push the heel, bring the toes down towards you. So you can hold around the back of the leg, but not too tightly because otherwise you'll stop the hamstrings lengthening. And then point and flex. So let's just get some movement into the hamstrings, drawing in through the core. So you've really got a sense of holding on with the pelvic floor, tummy muscles, and then circling the foot around one way and then back the other. And then breathing in, breathing out, draw the knee back down to the chest, just hold it there for a breath in and out, just opening into the hip, relaxing through the shoulders, and then placing that foot down on the floor. Just having a pause and do the same the other side, breathing in. And as you breathe out, draw the knee down and then extending it up towards the ceiling, pushing the heel, bringing the toes towards you. Good. And then point and flex. Lovely. Just feeling into the hamstrings here, noticing maybe if one side is different to the other, and then circling the foot around. One way and back the other. Good. And have a little wriggle of the toes. And then when you're ready, breathing in and breathing out, drawing the knee down. And then placing that foot down on the floor. And again, just have a little pause. Softening through the hips. If you feel like you're holding onto the hips, just soften them. Allow the spine to feel grounded, connected. Shoulders to soften. Breath in and then breathing out. Bring the knees towards you, feet together. Knees out to the side. That's drawing the feet down towards you. So we're opening into the inner thighs, having a really good stretch. If you want to, if you can't hold onto the feet well, you can put your strap around your feet. And then we're going to sort of cycle with your feet. So you might want to hold on to the ankles to do this. But we're going to just go round and round. And as you do that, really rocking from side to side. So if you hold on to the ankles or your shins or whatever you can get hold of, and just let yourself go round and round as you rock from side to side. So there's a lot going on, but sort of just enjoy it. Let the head come down to the floor so you're not putting any strain on the neck. If your head's up, then you just hold higher up the legs. Just put your hands up to your knees or something, wherever feels comfortable. And then back the other way. So the knees are coming out to the sides. So we're going backwards now, cycling backwards. Good. It's quite a freeing movement. And then bringing your feet back to center, and we're going to happy baby. So knees out to the sides, soles of the feet up to the ceiling. Have a little wriggle of your toes. You're a very happy baby. Just let the hips open, shoulders are really relaxed, and the heaviness of the arms can help to draw the knees out, down towards the floor. Good. And then bring those knees back in together and just place your feet down on the floor. Let's have a good long stretch. Take the arms up, push the heels away. And very gently, we're going to ease over onto the side, coming up to sitting. And it might be a good idea to take your socks off. And we're going to come round into cat. So easing yourself round into cat posture. So the hands are below the shoulders, the knees are below the hips. Just a nice straight back. So having a look at your screen to see what your back looks like. Maybe just have a little move around. Just have a little massage into the wrists and the knees. Just let the hips mobilize. Nothing too much, just one way and the other. Just to loosen everything up a little for you. And then let's go through cat-cow. So take a breath in, breathing out, rounding the back, drawing in through the pelvic floor. Chin tucks in, softening down through the back, and then lifting the head. Good. So very gently, finding your rhythm, following your breath, allowing the movement to travel with your breath. And see if you can extend that movement every time. So you might be pushing down into the hands a little bit more, into the knees and shins and feet, as the back comes up to the ceiling, and then as the tail comes up, releasing into the lower back, through the shoulders, head lifts. And allowing the elbows to soften and bringing in some real movement back and forth with cat now. So dipping down and round and having a real sense of what the body needs and how much it would like to move. Bringing that sense of curiosity to it, you know, how does it feel in my shoulders, and what's it like to dip my head right down so that it touches the floor as you scoot back and forth, and maybe you bring your bottom down right the way down to the heels and bring your head forwards and up, so you can make these movements really quite significant, or you can keep them really soft and subtle, however you're feeling today. Just moving through back and forth. And then gently easing back into extended child. Allow the wrists to release, feeling the stretch in the back, the opening through the spine. And then we're going to come up and go into pigeon. So bringing the left knee forward to start with, the right leg all the way back. So it might be that you really wriggle that leg back. And just coming onto your hands, first of all, just feeling into the pelvis and the hip and seeing what's there for you. And if it's okay in the left hip, just wriggling the foot across so that it sits on top of the right leg and the right groin area. So we just let the body stretch and open, take some time to do that. Come up onto the fingertips and looking forwards, rolling the shoulders back and opening up through the heart center, the throat chakra, just lifting the head up. So there's a really beautiful sense of stretching through the neck. The shoulders are away from the ears. Just releasing the spine, and notice if you're holding on to the hip, the lower back, the pelvis, and just let that drop down a little bit more. Good. And then coming down onto the elbows, rest your forehead on your hands. And then let's extend the arms away. So you can bring your forehead down onto the floor, and that really opens into the hip. And just take your arms along the floor. So just doing whatever you feel you're able to do. Beautiful deep breaths in and out as you release into the hip. Good. And then slowly coming back up again. And we're going to, if you feel like it, bend through that right knee. Take the left hand. I always find it easier to take the left hand to the inner of the left knee. But if you feel confident keeping on the outside, then do. Take the hand around to the foot and placing on the inside edge of the foot. Take a breath in, breathing out, turn to look at the foot. And every time you breathe out, using your waist, your thoracic spine, as you hold onto the foot, just twisting it a little bit more with the breath. Shoulders down, just turning to look at the foot. I'm giving my foot a little massage while I'm there. So I give it some extra attention. Wonderful. And then slowly, slowly coming back. And then let's go into a little bit of a balance, coming up with one hand and then the other on the knee. Shoulders are down, just looking forwards. And then take a breath in, breathing out, both arms up. Good. So nice and strong. Breathe. Drawing in through the core. And then gently and slowly down, tuck the toes under of the right foot, both hands flat on the floor. Take a breath in, breathing out, coming through into long dog. Just drawing in through the core, lengthening the hamstrings, stretching out through the back. Lovely long breaths in and out. Good. And then gently and slowly back down. And let's just do a couple of rounds of cat-cow, releasing into the hips and the back. Once more, you might find that you can go a little bit further as you stretched and opened. And then we're going to, on the next out breath, do the right knee. So bringing the right knee forwards and being really aware of this hip and knowing that this might feel quite different. So let's just start with the flat hands on the floor, looking forwards and releasing into the lower back. If the hip feels okay, wriggling that foot across to the top of the left leg. Just giving it time to settle down in your hip and in your lower back. And at the same time, opening up through the chest and the throat. So there's an extension that goes on. And the shoulders are rolled down and back. So there's an activation of the shoulders too. And then coming up onto your fingertips, extending through that sensation. So the pelvis is heavy. Sometimes we really hold on in the pelvis, but let that go. Beautiful breaths. And then gently down onto your elbows, forehead resting on your hands, and feeling the opening into the hip in this direction. And then extending the arms away as you bring your forehead down onto the floor. And then gently coming back up. And we're going to go into the twist. So bending through the left knee, flexing the foot. And as you flex the foot, you'll feel probably the stretch in the front of your thigh. So just noticing what that's like. Bring the hand around inside, turn, hold onto the foot. And feeling that twist in your thoracic spine. Every time you breathe out, going a little bit more. Wonderful. And then slowly back down. Just feel the pelvis settling, coming up as far as you can. One hand, then the other on the knee. Good. Finding your balance. You'll get there, Lisa. Drawing in through the core. Take a breath in, breathing out, both arms coming up, and deep breaths. Really extending the arms away. Good, nice. Oh, we've got a lovely close shot of you, Lisa. Coming down, just gently release. Tap the toes of the left foot under. Take a breath in, breathing out, scooting it through to a long dog. And really feel like you're drawing your belly button to the base of the spine. And as you do that, notice how that really helps to lengthen along the spine. Heels coming down towards the floor. The hips are rising up towards the ceiling. Just letting that lengthening, opening of the shoulders happen. And then gently coming down onto the knees. Just ease yourself into a kneeling position and let your hands have a little shake. Release into the wrists. A roll of the shoulders. So we're going to go into quite a strong move, and my suggestion is, as always, to do a modification if you need to. So we're going to go into plank, and from plank we're going to transition into side plank. We haven't done that for a while, so we're going to just see how we get on, and I'll talk you through it, obviously, like I always do. But first of all, we start off in cat, knees separate, and then just take your hands one hand length in front of you. If your wrists are sore, you can do this with your elbows on the floor. So elbow plank, it's up to you, or modifying it as you wish. So tucking the toes under, take a breath in, breathing out, just let the shoulders come over the wrists. So holding that plank posture. Bottom comes down, 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 Lisa. So you're in dog at the moment. I want you in plank. That's it. Good. And then maybe just ease back for a moment. and I'll just demonstrate what we're going to do next, because you're in plank for a little while. Just going to take my watch off. So let me twist. So you get into plank and then go into a twist, and the right arm comes up, both feet stay on the floor. So let the hip come down a little bit. All right, so let us see, those of you who want to have a go, have a go. All right, so coming back into plank, so breath in, breath out, into plank, and feet on the floor, twisting up, and then let the bottom come down, so you're really nice and long. It might be good one, Karen, nice, good position of the hips. That's it, round you go. Lovely. Nice. And then when you've done that on one side, doing it on the other. So don't wait for me. You can do a little stretch in between. Yeah, shake of your hands. You're really controlling it through the core. Lovely. Good. You can do it with the feet together, one on top of the other. Really holding your body nice and strong. Well done, Karen. Nice one, Neil. Just do some modifications if you want to, Michelle and Louisa and John. I can only see the edge of John, but good. All right. Lovely. So really, really strong posture, but very, very good. So come when you've had enough, come back and give your arms a shake. Yeah, see it, Lisa. Do the other side. Oh. Lovely. We're going to do a little bit more for the arms just to really strengthen up. So we're going to, let's come back into cat. Turn the fingers in towards each other. Cross the ankles over, lifting the feet up off the floor. And we're just going to do some little gentle yogic chest presses. So coming down, head to the floor and then back up. So as you're doing this, making sure that your core is nice and strong. And because your fingers are pointing in towards you, you'll feel certain muscles of the shoulders working. And then turn the hands so the fingers are pointing forwards, and you'll feel a different set of muscles working, slightly different. Just coming up and back a few times, using the breath. And then you can turn your hands out to the side and you just dip back down, depending on how bendy your elbows are. Good. And then gently ease yourself, get back into kneeling. Have a shake of the wrists. And we'll go into a squat. So you're just tucking the toes under, get the feet out to the sides. Oh, nice. Just open into the hips. Well done, everybody. Elbows on the inner side, inner parts of the knees. Just let that tailbone hang down. Lengthening through the spine. Have a little breather. It's quite nice to separate the feet a little bit wider so that you can get the heels on the floor. Good. And then take a breath in and breathing out, coming on up to standing. Nice. Good. And let's just shake it all out. So hands, feet, a roll of the shoulders and release into the hips. Just freeing everything as best you can. Lovely. And then coming into standing
a nice mountain. Let's take the hands into prayer. Close the eyes. Feel the thumbs nestling against the heart chakra and Anahata. Feeling the breath. Perhaps your heart rate is up because we've been doing some aerobic and strengthening work. Notice if this is here for you. And then gently down. Have another shake and a roll of the shoulders. Just bringing the shoulders around the elbows, up, back, and down. Good. A little shake of the legs. So we're going to do a little bit of extra work on the arms today in standing. So making sure you've got plenty of space around you to move the arms in various different ways. So first of all, take a breath in, breathing out, squeeze the shoulder blades together as the arms come out to the sides. And then breathing in and breathing out, turning the palms to go back. So we're just going to do that several times, really feeling that squeezing of the shoulder blades, making sure you keep your core nice and strong. You're not kind of sticking your tummy out, going into too much of a back bend. It's all the upper body that we're working with. Nice. And then bending through or turning one arm up and the other down. So feeling it twisting into the shoulders. And I kind of always move my hips with this one. It feels like I get more deeply into the twist. So just listening to what your body would like to do. Good. Take a breath in. Oh, breathing out. Just let the arms flop down by the sides. Have another roll of the shoulders. Good. And we're going to take the hands behind now. So you're going to place the hands behind you together if you possibly can. If you can't do that, bringing your hands to your wrists. But really what we're trying to do is bring the hands together, maybe cross the thumbs over, wriggle them up as far as you possibly can, up through the middle of the back. And as you get higher up the back, draw the shoulders back. Feel the opening through the front of the chest. You might want to just bring the chin up a little bit. Feel the lifting of the chest, bringing your heart up to the sky and beyond. Beautiful, long, deep breaths in and out. Good. And keeping your hands as they are, we're going to go into Parsvottanasana. So just allowing yourself to take a step forwards with your left foot, just softening through the knee, drawing the breath in beautifully, deeply into the body. And as you breathe out, keep those elbows coming back as you flex through the hips. Bring the head down, and until you reach halfway point, you might want to look in the screen to see where you are. I know as you turn your head, it gets a bit wobbly. But what I'm aiming for is for you to flatten out your thoracic spine. So with your hands wriggled right the way up, if you've got your hands in a position where they can help to flatten down through the middle of the back, the upper back, that's lovely. And then take a breath in, breathing out, folding right the way down, let the head come down. And then if it's possible for you, you can straighten that front leg a little more. Holding that posture, holding the balance, and breathe. really utilizing your core, the breath, and then gently releasing the hands. Oh, it's nice on the wrists. Bring the left hand down on the outer edge of the left foot, the right arm up to the ceiling, and we'll go into a twist, a very short Trikonasana. So we're turning that right shoulder, rolls back, the arm extends up to the ceiling, and turning your head to look up at your hand. So feeling into the wobble. Think of all those muscles you're working with that wobble. That front leg, you might be able to extend it so that it straightens a bit more. Just realized I could do that with mine. So just have a little play around with how that's feeling. Nice, Michelle. Good twist. And then slowly and gently coming back. Both hands, just moving them forwards a little bit. Ease the body weight forwards. Let the right foot come up off the floor and let the head come down towards the left knee. So you might have your hands flat on the floor or maybe on fingertips, depending on how long your arms are. Good. Just let that foot float up as high as you possibly can. Breathing as you go. Feel the core nice and strong. And then gently and slowly stepping the foot back down, transitioning to that back foot. Take the hands behind and pushing into the left foot as you slowly come back up to standing. Release. Turn round to the front. Oh, have a shake. Shake of the arms, shake of the legs. And coming back into mountain, hands in namaste. Oh, I can certainly feel my heart beating faster this morning. Aware of the breath. And it might be that as you pay attention to the different sides of the body, you can feel one's, just feels different to the other, a bit longer or a little twisted or more open. Another contracted, congested, something else. So we're going to balance you all out. So I'm just going to come to the other side so that I can see you. So starting off with hands up behind, just modifying it as you need to, pressing the hands together, maybe crossing the thumbs, elbows back, shoulders back. As you do that, just check you're not going into a back bend, your tailbone is still coming down towards the floor. That really beautiful sense of opening the heart up to the universe. The breath, energizing the heart. Allowing that sense of opening. And then taking a step forwards with your right foot. So it's longer than a walking step, but it's not too far. And then bending through that front knee a little. So it's just a softening of the knee. It's not a deep bend. And then making sure you're drawing in through the core. The belly button's to the base of the spine. So it helps you to get a nice long spine as we're going to Parsvottanasana. So breathing in, and as you breathe out, feeling the folding through the hip. And the flattening back, using your hands to change the position of your thoracic spine. So it's as if somebody's trying to sort of draw through the top of your head, parallel to the floor. You might want to just check in on the screen, just to see that your back's as flat as it can be. It's so useful having the screen. And then take a breath in. As you breathe out, let gravity do its work, bringing your head down towards your knee, your leg. Shoulders come back, elbows come back. And then if you feel you would like to, you can straighten that leg a little bit. So have a little play around with that. Feeling all the muscles having to work hard to keep you here in this posture. Drawing through the core. And inviting you very slowly to release the hands. Just let the wrists go. I just give them a little bit of a twist and a shake before I place my hand, my right hand, next to the right foot. And we go into a shortened Trikonasana. So take a breath in, breathing out, let the left hand come up to the ceiling, turning, twisting through the whole of your torso. So both arms lined up with each other, looking up if you can, if it's all right in the neck, but don't overstrain the neck. If it's too much, just put the head back down to looking down to the floor, holding that position. Nice. Keep breathing, everybody. If you want to, just have a play around with straightening that right leg a little bit. Just noticing what that's like for you. Well done. And then gently bringing the left hand down. Then we'll just move that hand forwards a little bit. Shift the body weight to the right leg and let the left leg come up. The left foot come up to the ceiling as your head comes down towards the knee. Imagining a balloon or several balloons around that leg. So see if you can lift it a little bit higher, everybody. Nice. That's it, Louisa. That's a lovely line. Good. And then just softly transitioning from that to placing your left foot back down on the floor. Bring your hands behind. You might just want to have your one palm hand on top of the other. Take a breath in. More slowly you do it, more your body has to work to bring you back up. And gently have a release of everything. So just let go in the arms, go in the hips, easing the hips around, shaking it through, and then coming back into mountain, arms together. I'm just checking in. Hopefully you feel more aligned than when you did in the halfway point. Just allowing this few moments for the breath to settle once more. And then separating the feet a little, interlace the fingers, turn the palms forwards, lifting them up, palms uppermost towards the ceiling. And we're going to just ease from side to side, bending from one side to the other. And a stretch of the waist. And then keeping the hands where they are, palms uppermost, just turning to look behind, feeling the extension of the spine, but that twist and how there's a contraction as well to enable the twist to happen. Coming back to the center and going the other way. Doing that a couple of times to each side. And then gently coming back to the center when you're ready. Just let the arms come down and release. Again, have a roll of the shoulders and a shake. So we're going to go into gait. So lining your mat up so that you can get the knees, the hands all lined up with it. So we're coming down onto the knees, and you can, if your knees are sore, you can put something underneath the knees to protect them, like a blanket or a cushion or something. I'm going to stay kneeling up rather than going the bottom down into the heels. And then taking the right foot out to the side, turning the foot to right angles, and making sure that the pelvis is aligned up with the front edge of the mat. Good. All right, so we're going to go to the easier side, as in the bigger bend side. I'm just going to move a little bit. So take the left hand down, thumb and the first finger lined up with front end. Take a breath in, breathing out, stretching past your ear. So the arm comes straight past your ear, Karen. That's it. And then turn the palm up to the ceiling. And checking in with what's happened with your pelvis. If it's gone back a little bit, press it forwards. And there you've got the stretch. That delicious sense of really deep stretch in the core. And then we're going to activate the core and go as slowly as you feel you comfortably can by taking that right arm up. Release the left as you gently ease over the other side. Turn the palm up to the ceiling. Let that arm slide down the leg. Nice. Just allow the hand to slide a little bit more so you can feel that deep opening up the side of the body. And then doing that once more to each side. So as you lift up, feel a lengthening up through. Turning the palm up, pressing the pelvis forwards. Feeling the breath in the body. And then gently lifting up, feeling through that transition. And over the other way. Just notice if there's a tendency to sort of roll the pelvis a little bit. We're trying to keep everything lined up with the front of the mat. So it might be you don't go down quite as much, but you'll feel more of a stretch if you press the left hip forwards a little bit or stop it from twisting. Turning the palm up. Nice. Lovely. And then gently ease yourself from that. Just come into kneeling. You might want to have a little mini break. Just have a roll of the shoulders and the bottom down. A little shuffle around. It's responding to what your body needs right now. And then, of course, we're going to do it in the other direction. So the left foot comes out. Just feeling it into your hip. Press the pelvis forwards. Really line everything up in the front of the mat as best you can. And then the right hand comes down, arm comes up and past your ear. So a really straight arm. Let's really activate that arm and turn the palm up to the ceiling. Deepening as much as you possibly can into this stretch, and there's little movements, micro movements you can make that help to change your experience. And then slowly, pelvic floor nice and tight as we lift up and over. So that arm comes right past your ear. Nice straight arm, or as straight as you can possibly do. Turn the palm up and let the left hand slide down the leg, but without sort of turning into that. The pelvis stays forwards. Wonderful. And then slowly after that, we're going to just repeat that once more to each side, feeling into the transition. So really responding to what your body feels like doing. So you can come into a very strong posture and it feels like a balance. Or you can keep it nice and soft. It's entirely up to you. Deep abdominal breath in and then breathing out. Over to the side. Past your ear, turn the palm. Draw in through the core. And then slowly ease yourself out of that. Bring the knees together. Bottom down to the heels. Have a roll of the shoulders. Good. And let's just ease the neck from one side to the other. Just moving the head just very gently. Just releasing into the neck. Shoulders away from the ears. And from here, we're going to go down onto the left side. Let the elbow come to the floor, the head rest on the left hand, the knees in front of you. And we're just going to work into the hips a little bit more, into the buttocks, and check in with the core. So it might be that you place your hand on your legs. If you want to make it harder, that's what you do. Or if you feel you're going to be a little out of balance, then you put your hand down in front of you. We're going to go into clam. So keep the feet together, lift, separate the knees, and then back together. Lifting and lowering. And that hand that's on the top, it can either just add weight to the leg, or you can press down into the leg with your hand, providing some real resistance so that your butt works a lot harder. And you can also feel the core working and your waist working too. So there's a lot that goes on with this movement. So just lifting and lowering, keeping the body really still, the upper body really still. So all the movements coming from the hip and the leg. And you should really start to feel it now. In your buttock. It's good to have a play around with how much resistance you put in there. So it might be a little or a lot. Oh, lovely. Well done. And then bring that knee up to you. Oh, just release, stretch out the muscle. Nice deep breaths. Hold on to the toes, take a breath in, breathing out, extend the leg away. Or any modification of that. Good. And then gently, we're just going to either roll over and face away or ease over to the other side. And repeat on the other side. So head in your hand. If that's not comfortable, of course, you can just let the head come down along the arm. It's entirely up to you. And the knees are bent, so they're up at hip height. Either the hand on the thigh or down in front of you. Feet firmly like glued together. And then we're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. So real awareness of the breath. And this side might feel different to the other. You might be able to do more, or you might have a little bit of pain in there. So you place your hand in a different position. Remembering to offer up some resistance if you wish. If you work harder. Good. And then just giving that a hug. Oh, good stretch out. Holding on to that. It's really strong doing that. Let your foot go a little bit. And then hold on to the toes, breathing in, breathing out, extend through the leg, opening to the back of the knee. Relaxing through the shoulder. And gently and slowly release. So we're going to ease ourselves into relaxation. So just really listening to the body and seeing what your body needs. So you might want to put your legs up the wall or on a sofa, or just go into Shavasana, roll over onto your side, or whatever you wish to do. Taking your time to find your comfortable position, making sure you're warm. So if you need to put a layer on, a blanket over you, then really spending the time doing that. So as you lie in that position, just recognizing we spent quite a bit of time on the shoulders and on the hips. So feeling into these areas in particular. Maybe noticing some warmth, some tingling, other sensations in the hips hips and the shoulders. Allowing the breath to really travel through the body. And noticing the effect of that breath and the movement that you've done on the energies of the body. This awareness of what's here, what you can feel. As you give this body an opportunity to rest, to recuperate, to breathe. And as you do that, sometimes it's helpful to bring a sense of gratitude to the body. Often when we're moving, we're really feeling into the places that haven't got a full range of movement, or where there's some discomfort or pain. But it's so helpful to also bring awareness to areas of the body that are able to move, where there is some softness and some freedom. And if it's possible, bringing some gratitude to these places. And as we do that, noticing the changing relationship to the body. You might want to even just internally say thank you to the different parts that have supported you in your life right up to this moment. Sensing into the peacefulness of the body. Aware of the ebb and flow of breath. And you can choose to stay just as you are in this place of stillness and quiet. Or you can start to breathe more deeply, just taking your time as we transition into a little bit more movement. Just noticing what your body needs right now as you ease from stillness merging quite slowly and gently and with kindness. Maybe you start to stretch. And then coming up to sitting when you're ready. Just slowly does it, no rush. And once you're there, having a breath in, separating the fingers, and namaste. Thank you.